All right, so I'm going to write some comparisons. I'm going to write the ratio of pennies to quarters first, okay? So then in order to write the ratio of pennies to quarters, I know that pennies is the first word. So the first number that should happen in my ratio is the number of pennies, okay? So then I look to the left and I'm going to count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies. So I put a 6 first. And then I can write the word 2 in between, just like I did in this first example up here. 6 pennies, 2. How many quarters do I have? So quarters is the second number. Quarters are the blue open circles. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So my ratio is 6 to 7. Now notice for this one, I did not write pennies next to the 6 or quarters next to the 7 because you don't have to write the label. Okay? You don't need to label because it's assumed that it'll go in the same order as the original question. You cannot flip around the order. So this cannot be 7 to 6. It's got to be 6 to 7 because pennies came first. So pennies has to be the first number. Okay, so let's try a different one. Let's try quarters to total number. Quarters to total. Okay, so again, this time I'm looking for quarters first. So I'm going to count the number of quarters. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarters. So I put a 7 first. And then I can write the 2 in between. All right, now I've got to do the total number of coins. So I've got to count all of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16. So again, just like the last one, I don't need to label because the quarters is the first number and the total is the second number. I already wrote it in the original thing that asked me how to write the ratio. Okay. So when you write a ratio, you just write those two numbers that compare to each other, okay, in order. All right, I'm going to start a new page, and we're going to talk about the numeric quantity. All right, so we're going to talk about writing ratios as fractions. So ratios can be written as fractions, which you saw on that first page in the example. So let's say that there are 13 girls in a class and 11 boys. Okay, so then I'm going to start by writing the ratio of boys to girls. Okay. So I start with the number of boys. There are 11 boys. Okay. And then I go to the number of girls. But this time, instead of writing 2 in between, I'm going to write the colon. There are 13 girls. So 11 colon 13. This is the correct ratio. You can also write this ratio, 11, and then the word 2, 13. Because again, we keep it in the same order. There are 11 boys, 13 girls. I don't need to label because up here I told you already what the first number stands for and what the second number stands for. So when you write this as a fraction, the numerator is going to be the first number. So numerator is first, and the denominator is the second. Okay, so the numerator, the first number was 11, and the denominator, the second number was 13. So 11 to 13. That is my ratio as a fraction. All three of these ways of writing ratios are completely accurate. They all three work. They all three represent a ratio. Now you know how to write a ratio or a comparison between two things. I like using the colon. If you prefer to use 2, that's fine. Or if you prefer to use the fraction, that's great also. But now you know how to write a ratio.